TLE CSS Week 7 and 8 is all about testing electronic components and practice OSH at work. An electronic circuit is a structure that directs and controls electric current to perform various functions including signal amplification, computation, and data transfer. It comprises several different components such as resistors, transistors, capacitors, inductors, and diodes. Conducive wires and traces are used to connect the components to each other. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to determine criteria for testing electronic component, plan an appropriate or approach for component testing, test component evaluation, the testing processes, and practice occupational health and safety at work. Component testing is defined as software testing type, in which the testing is performed on each individual component separately without integrating with other components. The common electronic components are passive and active. Passive are components or device which doesn't generate voltage but control the current in an electronic circuit, like resistor, capacitor, inductors. While active are components which generate, amplify, and also control the voltage and current in an electronic circuit, such as diode, transistor, and integrated circuit. Resistance and resistors. Resistance means opposition to some action. In electricity, resistance means the opposition is to flow of current. Measured in ohms, expressed in kilo ohms, milliohms, and others. With 1,000 ohm is equal to 1 kilo ohm. Or equal to 100 or 1 million ohms is equal to mega ohms. The symbol of resistance is shown as here. It looks like a thunder or lightning. So, you express the gauge for ohm in kilo ohm and mega ohms. Okay. We use the same tester to measure the resistance or the resistors. Functions of resistor. A resistor is a passive two-terminal electrical component that implements electrical resistance as a circuit element. In electronic circuits, resistors are used to reduce current flow, adjust signal level, to divide voltages, bias active elements, and terminate transmission lines. From the word resist, meaning to control. Okay? It controls whatever current that will flow to your circuit. Resistor color codes. Just always remember this. For black, the first band is always 0 up to the third band. And when you see a black multiplier and the tolerance is 0. For brown, whether it's first, second, or third band, it is equivalent to brown. And the multiplier is 10 ohms. The tolerance is positive, negative 1%. For red, we have first to third band, it's 2. And its multiplier is 100 ohms. Okay, the tolerance is positive, negative 2%. While orange has an equivalent of 3 from first band to the last band. And it is, its multiplier is 1 kilo ohms. There's no tolerance for orange. For yellow, we have first to the third band, it's 4. The equivalent of that is 4. And the multiplier is 10 kilo ohms. There's no tolerance for color yellow. For green, first to third band, the equivalent is 5. And the multiplier is 100 kilo ohms. For its tolerance, positive 0.0 or 0.5%. For blue, first to third band, 6. And the multiplier is 1 mega ohms. Its tolerance is positive, negative 0.25%. While violet, first to third band, it's 7. And its multiplier is 10 mega ohms. Tolerance is positive, negative 0.10%. And for gray, first to third band, it's 8. There's no multiplier for gray and white. The tolerance for gray is positive, negative 0.05%. There's no equivalent for the first third band of gold and silver, but there is a multiplier for gold, 0.1 ohm, with a tolerance of positive, negative 5%. While silver, the multiplier is 0.01 ohm, with a tolerance of positive, negative 10%. Now, for this example, we have the first band, the second band, third band, and the fourth band is the tolerance. Because there are only four lines. So, for black, 0. For brown, 1. Red, 2. Orange, 3. Yellow, 4. Green, 5. It's the same with the chart that I've shown you earlier. Same thing with the tolerance. It's the same with the tolerance that given earlier. So, example on how to calculate the resistor color codes. The reading is from left to right. The first band close to the edge is the first digit in the numerical value of R. The next band marks the second digit. The third band is the decimal multiplier, which gives the number of zeros after the two digits. The first band is red, so that is equivalent to 2. Second band, the next band is violet, which has a band of 7. And the third is the multiplier, which is the red. So, the red, the equivalent of red in the chart of multiplier is 100 ohms. So, 27 times 100 ohms is equivalent to 2,700 ohms. You just multiply the first, the second, or the third band to multiplier. Testing resistor. There are two ways of testing resistor using an analog or a digital multimeter. Normally, if a resistor fails, they will either increase in value or open up at all, open circuit. You can check the resistor resistance by selecting the ohmmeter range in the analog and digital multimeter. Using analog multimeter to test resistor. First, you must know the resistor value before you take any measurement. With the resistor color band calculation, you have read from the previous section. I'm sure you have no problem with identifying resistor value by looking at the color band. Assuming you are measuring a resistor with colors of yellow, purple, black, and gold, from calculation, it is 47 ohms resistor with 5% tolerance. Set your analog meter to times 1 ohm. Shorting the probes and calibrate the pointer so that it will stay at 0 ohm. Place your meter probes to 2 points of the resistor as shown in the photo. It doesn't matter which probes to which 2 points because resistor does not have polarity, positive or negative like battery. You should have get somewhere near 47 ohm by observing the pointer. If you get more than 47 ohm, says 150 ohm, this means that the resistor has gone up in resistance and need permanent replacement. Remember to press a little bit hard on the leads of the resistor while measuring it, otherwise you may not get a precise reading or intermittent reading could occur. Check the result to see if the pointer point to near or exact 15 kilowatt ohms. If the resistors has 5% tolerance, the pointer should point between the values of 14.25 kilo ohms to 15.75 kilo ohms. Any value you get that is not between the tolerance ranges, you should replace the resistor. Similarly, if you want to check a 15 kilo ohm resistor, short the two probes together and calibrate by adjusting the adjuster knob. You must set your meter to times 1 kilo ohm range so that the measurement is within the range. In order to check the 100 kilo ohms resistor, you have to select the times 10 kilo ohms range. Follow the procedure explained above and you should be able to get the measurement. So, using the analog, you must always calibrate your ohm meter. While in digital, it's very specific. It just tells you exactly how much is the ohms of that resistor. Okay. So, in calculating the resistor, we will use the color code. Like I said, you can measure the resistor by using the ohm meter. If you have you have a multi-tester like the video that I showed you earlier, or you may look at the color code of resistor. For example, for number 1, violet, yellow, red, and gold. So the first two are the first band, while the red is your multiplier and gold is your tolerance. For number 2, you have green, blue, gray. So you have 3 color band. The orange will be your multiplier and silver is your tolerance. For blue, red, orange, again you have 3 bands and your green is your multiplier while gold is your tolerance. For number 4, you have brown, black, red, blue is your multiplier and gold is your tolerance. For our number 5, we have yellow, red, orange is your 3-band color, while yellow is your multiplier and your tolerance is gold. So refer to the chart that I've shown you earlier and ask you to take a photo of that chart for you to compute or to calculate the resistor. I will give you a minute to think of your answers and your timer starts now. Check your answers. For number 1, we have 7.4 kilo ohms with the tolerance of positive negative 5%. While for number 2, we have 568 kilo ohms with positive negative 10% tolerance. Number 3, 62.3 mega ohms with positive negative 5% tolerance. For number 4, we have 102 mega ohms with a tolerance of positive negative 5% And lastly, we have 4.23 mega ohms with positive, negative percent tolerance. Did you get it all correct? If yes, congratulations. We will proceed to the new lesson. If not, you may go back to this video and examine the given chart that I asked you to screenshot or photocopy. Now let's go to week 8. Diodes are also known as rectifiers. It used to convert the AC volt to DC volt. So when you say AC, ito ay galing sa Meralco power. When you say DC, direct current, ito yung mga battery. Ang pinanggagalingan ng power ay mula sa mga battery voltage. It is an electronic equivalent of one-way streets. Diode allow an electric current to flow through them in only one direction. Diode is composed of two terminals. So as you can see, ang diode natin ay it allows electric current to flow. Okay? Para magtuloy-tuloy ang daloy ng kuryente. So, the two terminals are anode and cathode. Ano nga ba yung anode? Anode is a positive electrode, the point of exit of electrons from a device to the external circuit, while the cathode is the negative electrode, the point of entry of electrons into a device from external circuit. It is also the terminal connected to the positive point of the transistor. Is possibly the most important invention of this decade. It performs two basic functions. It acts as a switch turning current on and off. It acts as an amplifier. This makes an output signal that is magnified version of the input signal. Transistors are more complex and can be used in many more ways. The name transistor is derived from transresistor, meaning that it changes resistance. Unlike a diode, a transistor has three LEDs. Before we perform different testing components, it is necessary to know the standard procedure on how we can prevent the accident. So let us discuss the OSH, or the Occupational Health Safety at Work. So it refers to legislation, policies, procedure, and activities that aim to protect the health, safety, and welfare of all people at the workplace. Remember, in any kind of field of work, safety first. So number 1, do not work alone, so that there's someone who can take care of you in case of emergency. Number 2, always power off the computers and unplug the computer before working on it. Number 3, take away any liquid near your working area to avoid getting electrocuted or accidental damaging computer parts. Number 4, be careful with tools that may cause short circuit. Number 5, always ground or discharge yourself before touching any part of the computer. 6, do not use excessive force if things do not quite slip into place. 7, clean the area before and after using it to maintain sanitation and prevent accident. Number 8, hold the components of the edges and do not touch the integrated circuit parts. 9, always wear personal protective equipment or PPE in accordance with the organization's OSH procedures and practices. And number 10, make sure that the pins are properly aligned where connecting a cable connector. Kapag hindi sakto ang pin doon sa paglalagyan, huwag nyo nang ituloy. Parang sa cellphone charger. Kapag ang cellphone charger ay hindi kasukat, huwag nyo nang ipilit. Masisira. Then you have number 11, contingency measure during workplace accidents, fire, and other emergencies are recognized. So always be open to the possibility that there is always an accident. So put a measure, okay, during workplace. For your learning task 2, draw a happy face if the statement aims to protect the health, safety, and welfare of all people at the workplace, and a sad face if it's not. Number 1, do not work alone so that there's someone who can take care of you in case of emergency. Number 2, it is safe to eat and drink at your workplace. Number 3, always wear personal protective equipment in accordance with the organization's OHS procedures and practices. Number 4, do not use excessive force if things don't quite slip into place. And number 5, do not need to power off the computer and unplug the computer before working on it. I will give you again 1 minute to think of your answer. Your timer starts now. Check your answers. Number 1, do not work alone so that there's someone who can take care of you in case of emergency. nobody works alone. So always remember, there should be someone who is working with you. So the right answer, you must have a happy face. That's correct. Number 2, it's safe to eat and drink at your workplace. That's wrong. Do not eat, do not drink to avoid any spill or food contamination in your workplace. Number 3, so that is a sad face. Number 2, Number 3, always wear personal protective equipment or PPE in accordance with the organization's OHS procedure and practices. Correct. That's happy face. It aims to protect the health, safety, and welfare of all people. Number 4, do not use excessive force if things don't quite slip into your place. Tama yun. So, happy face. Kasi pag pinilit nyo na ikabit yung isang bagay na hindi siya kamatch, tendency, masisira lang. Number 5, you do not need to power off the computer and unplug the computer before working on it. Mali yan. Sad face. Kasi kinakailangan safety first. You are going to shock yourself if you are working with your computer while the computer is on. Okay? So, I hope you got all the correct answers, and this means that you understand the lesson. However, if not, you may go back to this video and review. If you have any further question, please do not hesitate to ask by typing in the comment section of our Google Classroom. Hope to see you and hope you will be able to pass the final and the last summative test for school year 2020-21 to 2022. Hope you have learned a lot from this school year. God bless everyone. Keep safe. Bye-bye.